Hi there. Yes, you have all the reasons to be angry and upset with us. I know we're late with the morning wrap. We don't like being late, but it's just that we got occupied with a couple of important things, which is why this delay in the morning wrap. But don't you worry, we've got you covered here like every morning, and it's still a couple of minutes before we hit noon. So yeah, technically speaking, it still sort of fits as the morning wrap. So without wasting any of your time anymore, let's just quickly dive into the top stories making the headlines this morning. First things first, this is something you would have read on all social media platforms. This is something that's been creating a buzz for the last couple of hours or so. Good news. It's a good start to the day, because now the Pune police has confirmed that Kedar Jadhav's father, who went missing late yesterday evening, has now been found and he has been reunited with his family. Kedar, though, continues to be with the CSK franchise as he prepares for the upcoming season of the IPL. But what a good start the day with, because his father's now been reunited with the family. He went missing. He was last seen exiting the housing society in which Kedar Jadhav's father stays. He suffers from dementia, which is why it was a little difficult to locate him initially, but the police did manage to get the job done. So what a good bright note to start the day on, because he's now reunited with his family. And much like every day, much like every week, the comparisons between these two guys just doesn't cease. And it's Abdul Razak, now the former Pakistan all-rounder, who's made a comparison between Virat Kohli and Babar, Azam. People go on and talk about the way the two bat, the way the two field, the way the two lead, but he's made another comparison altogether, and he's put Virat Kohli ahead of Babar Azam in one regard. No, it's not got to do with their skill. It's got to do with their fitness. What Abdul Razak has said is, yes, they're two very good batsmen, both of them, but where Virat Kohli has an absolute edge over Babar Azam is the fact that Virat Kohli has world class fitness levels, and that's something that Babar Azam is yet to attain. Shifting focus now to the IPL. Yes, just a couple of days to go, and I hope, when we speak about IPL, I hope you've been checking out all those videos that we've been putting in. We've been trying to put together the strongest playing 11 for all the sides, all the franchises. So do check out those videos as well. You'll find them on the Sports Today channel. But coming back to what I was talking about, and that is Sanju Samson. Why I have him here is there was a press meet of sorts that took place in Jaipur. He was asked about what the expectation is going to be like from the Rajasthan Royals, and what he's gone ahead and said is that it's going to be a tough season because they set a benchmark last year. Remember, they made it to the playoffs, rather they went all the way to the finals as well, only to lose to the Gujarat Titans. But he says because we had such a good season last year, the expectation is going to be there, and it's going to be tough to match that level of expectation. But having said that, we've also got that video up for the like 11 Rajasthan. Do check that out also. They do seem to have a very, very balanced side, and who knows if they can actually better their achievement from last year and go all the way. Speaking now of international cricket, Afghanistan have wrapped up a famous series win against Pakistan. It was taking place in the UAE, and the first ever time that they managed to beat a top 6 ranked ICC side in any format of the game and claim the series. So they've gone ahead and won the series 2-1, though it was Shadab Khan who starred in the third match between the two sides, the third T20I that was played. But Afghanistan doing enough in the first two T20Is with a 6-wicket win, and that was followed up by a 7-wicket win in the second T20. We are both very fiercely fought competitions. Both weren't easy wins for Afghanistan, but they'll take it any day because they managed to beat a top side in international cricket. Also, speaking of that, let's also tell you about the first T20I, which took place between Bangladesh and Ireland. Remember, Ireland have been on a tour to Bangladesh. They played the ODI series, which Bangladesh won 2-1, and now in the T20I series, Bangladesh, the hosts, have taken a 1-0 advantage. It was a rain-affected match. Bangladesh did well with the bat, scored about 220 odd runs if I'm not mistaken, and because it was a rain-curtailed match, DLS came into the picture. pressure, and Ireland were asked to chase just about 108 runs in a span of just 8 overs. So it was an uphill task for them. They did give it a fight, but ultimately lost out in that first T20I between the two sides, which was played at Chattogram by a margin of 22 runs. Lastly, before we wrap up, the FIFA has come up with a big announcement. There was a high-level meeting that took place of the concerned stakeholders, in particular the FIFA and the European Clubs Association. The two entities met. They've been at loggerheads, remember, for a long time with regards to a few issues. One of them being the fact that the FIFA has been pitching for the World Cup to be held once every 2 years. So a biennial tournament has been proposed, but that's something that's not gone too well with the two entities, I should say, and that's been set aside, that whole idea of having a biennial tournament. But the big announcement that's come out of this big meeting is that the European Clubs Association had with the FIFA is that the clubs now, be it any league, let's say, the clubs will be getting a huge chunk of money going forward in the 2026 edition of the FIFA World Cup, as well as the 2030 edition of the FIFA World Cup. And just to give you an idea as to how big an uptick there is as far as this disbursement from FIFA that comes in every year, every World Cup year towards the club, is because this year, last year I should say, the 2022 edition that took place, the FIFA had disbursed somewhere around 170 million to clubs, and that was distributed for releasing their players for the FIFA World Cup. But what's now happened is that amount from 170 million pounds has now gone up to 298 million pounds. Roughly about 300 million pounds is what the FIFA will now be disbursing both for the 2026 edition and 2030 edition of the FIFA World Cup. So huge splurge there by the FIFA to the European clubs for releasing their players. Remember, these are amounts that are given because to the clubs, because it also means that if the player, let's say, gets injured or something, so that the players' financials, the club financials are covered that way. And of course, it does affect the clubs in many ways as far as their performances in the pitch are also concerned. So that's something that's happened over the years, but a huge change over there, because from 170 million pounds, that amount has now gone up to nearly 300 million pounds. We hope you like the sports wrap, the morning wrap, which we do here on Sports Day. In case you do like it, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to Sports Day. Also press the bell icon so that you know every time that we go live, and do stick along the day for us because we're going to be filling you up with everything happening in and around the world of sport.